This video is brought to you by Against the Flow of Mississippi. Against the Flow of Mississippi is a book about Jake Fayard, a Marine veteran who is unhappy with the political machine running the state of Mississippi. He decides to fight the corruption from the inside. Jake will face more challenges than he ever has and will stand up for what he thinks is right. His notoriously hot temper will push him to the edge of murder, along with his friend and brother Kobe Barhanovich. Together, they will fight the system and give the power back to the citizens of Mississippi.
Against the Flow of Mississippi was written by Anthony Oksenholt and was published by Oksenholt Biloxi Publishing, LLC. A link to the book will be placed in the description below.
Yeah, this a revolution in our time. Everybody's fighting, change coming, yes. That's why it's an acronym for riot. Everybody has a voice. Don't you dare stay silent. If you say nothing, you are an accessory to violence.
They've had their say. Seems like they've had that kind of say around here for too long. I had to stand up for myself alone. I went in there to remind them that somewhere in this world there's still a little law and order left. To let them know in the only kind of terms that their kind understand is that they can't bribe or threaten their way out of what they did. To let them do this to me and get away with it, and you give them the eternal right to do the same damn thing to any one of you.
Access 228, your host, Anthony Oksenholt, where we report the facts and we are not for sale. If you have a news story or something that's on your mind, please feel free to give us a call at 228-337-2099. Be glad to have you on. Thank you for listening, and we do appreciate all that you do to support us and keep free and independent journalism doing what we do best. All right, y'all. Anthony Oksenholt, Access 228. I don't know why people still support the orange dick with the Napoleon complex that sits in our White House. I'm going to go ahead and preface this by saying I don't like dope. Never have. I think that, dope coming into this country is one of the worst fucking things that can happen. You know what I like less than I like dope? War. I think war should be used solely in self-defense. Somebody attacks the U.S., we got the right to fuck you up. Japan found out, you touch our boats, we drop the sun twice. Never have been a fan of nuclear weapons, but hey, it brought a very quick end to that part of World War II. Mustache man eating a bullet for dessert took care of the other end of it. Ever since World War II, we have been invading foreign nations and sticking our military fucking dick into other countries' affairs, and we shouldn't. First it was, well, we got to contain communism. We still have communist countries on this planet. We got one 90 miles off our border, Cuba. Of course, China's communist. Russia's like communist light. North Korea is communist heavy. Communist Plus, the deluxe version of communism. But we have done this to contain it. My theory is this: if it ain't here, I don't give a shit. If another country wants to run their country how they want to run their country, let them. Iraq, W decided he wanted to take out Saddam Hussein to finish daddy's business, and he did. Because there was weapons of mass destruction there. Well, now we have Cheetos saying that drugs, narcotics, or whatever, are now weapons of mass destruction. I don't disagree that narcotics are weapons of mass destruction. I don't disagree that fentanyl is dangerous. I lost a friend of mine to fentanyl less than a year ago. Good friend of mine. I don't disagree that it is highly addictive, highly potent, and capable of killing people in mass numbers. You're not going to get an argument with me out of this. But to use that as a guise of invading a sovereign country. We didn't invade China because of COVID. Maybe it's because China would have had quite a bit to say about it. And they've actually got shit to respond to it. Okay? I don't know what Venezuela's military looks like, but I'm pretty sure that it can't stand up to us. I mean, let's face it. We have the F-22, which was used down there. We've been sticking our nose where it don't belong for years, decades. About the last 8 decades we've been doing this shit. There is a reason that few countries in the world actually respect the American flag. I've got friends all over the country, all over the world, Australia, New Zealand, England, Germany, France, Italy. These are all first world nations. A lot of them do not, there's a lot of people in those countries, and they're all militarily allies of us that just don't respect us. Because we think we're the great saviors of the world. We're gonna bomb the shit out of you with, red, white, and blue bullshit. And I probably just made a few people mad, and I don't care. I went to go work on my boat today, and I don't have my truck running, so I'm borrowing somebody else's car. The radio doesn't halfway work, but the radio actually worked today, and NPR was on. I'm not a big NPR guy, but that's what was on the radio, and it just came on, and that's how I found out that we went down to Venezuela and took out the president. This is nothing. This is, we did the same thing to Noriega. Here's the funny thing. Noriega was an ally. at one point. He just ran afoul with Uncle Sam, and we took him out. I don't think we had a right to do that. Just like we didn't have a right to go down to Venezuela. I don't understand how arrogant the U.S. government, my government, that I pay taxes to, that I fund, unfortunately, I don't see how they can justify going into a foreign country and imposing U.S. law and arresting a president. Now, are the people better off without that president? Irrelevant. Were they celebrating? Maybe. It's irrelevant. We had no right to be there. They were not a direct threat to us. We're out there seizing oil tankers and shit in the Caribbean. They're brown and they have oil. Let's bomb the shit out of them. Saddam Hussein was brown and he had oil. Let's bomb the fuck out of them. Anybody see a pattern here? And we have pretty much annexed Venezuela. For lack of a better term, that's what we did. We annexed it. Took it over. It's under U.S. administration with, from what I understand, and again, I haven't really looked a whole lot into it because I felt like we shouldn't have stuck our dick in it to begin with. We have gone down there and we have taken the fuck over. We are now administering the government of Venezuela through the vice president, who was pretty well told, you're going to do what we say do or you're next. Has anybody looked up the definition of terrorism? You're going to do this or we're going to do this. And we've already done it once, so we'll do it again. That's terrorism. That means that Donald Trump has ordered his military to commit a war crime. Donald Trump is a war criminal. Every general that gave the order is a war criminal. I can't really blame the rank and file because they got no choice but to follow orders, or guess what? They're gonna suffer some consequences. Oh, wait a minute. That can't be true. Anybody remember Nuremberg? Anybody remember the Nuremberg trials? I was just following orders. It doesn't matter. They got their justice. There is a reason that the U.S. is not a signatory for the World Criminal Court, because if we were, be some bad days for some politicians and generals. We had no damn business. So to all y'all that voted for Trump, congratulations. You're war criminals too, in my opinion. I may have just lost some subscribers for that, but I don't really care. I'm not doing this for recognition. I'm doing this for putting out some common sense from a blue-collar American. Somebody who's disgusted by the government. Literally disgusted by it. These are volatile times that we live in. And it's a damn shame that we can't take this orange bastard in office that's ordering the military to do this shit and lock him in prison. It's a damn shame. There's a reason that he changed the Secretary of Defense or the Department of Defense to the Department of War. He meant to use it as war. It's going to be fucked up. This isn't over. If he did it once, we got 3 years left of this son of a bitch. He's not getting out of there until January 20th of 2029. How many more wars, how many more countries is he going to invade that piss him off? How many more military members are going to die because now everybody's on high alert? They're going to be looking. Yeah, they'll probably go in using airstrikes and drones and bomb the shit out of people and, you know, send the Reaper drones in there or whatever. But eventually it's going to take some boots on the ground. What's going to stop Venezuela from becoming the next Vietnam? I see this, and I see no difference from My Lai. These are scary times, people. Y'all better be ready for what we fixing to have. Access 228, your host Anthony Oksenholt.